Hey everyone, I'm Princess Link, and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2. Chapter 29. Reeling from the pain of the blow, Raiden gasped for breath and tried to relax his diaphragm. After a minute or so, he was able to breathe normally. He fully understood why Olga had hid him under the watchful eyes of the surveillance cameras, but he didn't have to like it. Then he realized how cold he was. The temperature inside Arsenal gear was frigid, and he had no clothes. Jack, are you alright? It was Rose calling through the nanomachines. Oh, yeah. Jack, is it true? What Solidus said? Raiden sighed. Yes. It's unbelievable. Drafting small children, sending them to war. It's not allowed under international conventions. ICC rules don't mean a lot in war. Someone told me that there are over 300,000 children in combat right now. I was just one of them. So you remember? I thought your memory had been manipulated by them. It was. But I have nightmares every day, pieces of the past I can't put together. He could hear the shock and pain in her voice. Why didn't you tell me? You couldn't begin to understand. You wouldn't know that until you try me. I didn't want you to get hurt. There's never a real reason for me to fight except that someone put a gun in my hand, and that someone was Solidus. It wasn't your fault. If I survived the day's fight, I was phased, fed, and had a bed to sleep in. I think I was only 6 when I held my first AK, but I'm not even sure of that. Jack, I'm not like Snake. I never questioned why we fought. There's no purpose, no way out. They give you a gun, you ask how many to kill. If you didn't, you were the one they shot instead. It's okay, no one's blaming you. We were shown Hollywood action films every day. The kind with macho guys and big guns. They call it image training. Played war games too, but with real bullets. They built us from the ground up into killing machines. We were fed once a day. I can still taste the gunpowder they mixed into the food. Gunpowder? In the food? The gunpowder had toluene in it, giving it hallucinogenic properties. It kept us drugged, controllable. Oh my God! Rose began to sob. When the Civil War ended, those of us who survived were taken in by NGOs. They gave me a new life in the States. I can't, but nothing's changed. Raiden felt his own voice crack even through the codec. The only people who have no problem with my past have secrets and agendas of their own. Terrible nightmares, every night. I can never forget. She continued to weep. Jack! I'm afraid of the night. That's why I don't sleep next to you. You should have told me. Told you what? That I'm a killer and always have been? No. What I hate more than anything else in the world is my own past. I don't want you or anyone to know about it. Now I know why I was chosen for this mission. No one can take him take him down, except me. I've been kept alive this long for this. I knew as soon as I saw Solidus. Jack, I love you the way you are now. You have to believe me. Raiden grunted with doubt. I didn't know anything about you, I admit that. Where you were born, how you grew up. But I know that now, and I know that what I feel for you can only get better, and I'll share in your past if that's the case. It doesn't work that way. No one can share the burden of what I've done. It's not one of those warm and fuzzy things couples share. I accept the good and the bad, Jack. That's what you do for someone you love. I don't want to share my past with anyone. I just want to forget about it. Jack, I haven't told you, what I've done. Before going on, though, Rose checked herself and went silent, aside from continuing to cry. The last 2 years with you, it's been more than I've ever hoped for. Jack, but I can't go any further. I know you want to get married. But I can't. I can't risk starting a family. There's no way to erase my childhood. It's all fake, Jack. Please, don't say any more. She signed off. The codec was quiet. Raiden closed his eyes, willing himself to shed some tears, but nothing happened. He couldn't cry. He'd been taught long ago that good soldiers never cried. The bonds securing him to the torture table suddenly opened with a snap. Olga had done what she'd promised. Still completely naked, Raiden stepped onto the floor and headed out of the room, past the glass partition, and into a long corridor. Immediately outside the medical room was a node. Raiden stooped awkwardly and accessed the maps. It was just as it could for the big shell itself. The Soliton radar read Arsenal as well. Raiden could then envision through nanocommunication the ground plan he needed. Apparently, he was in what was known as Arsenal's jejunum. I forget what that means. Whatever, who cares? And it was occupied by a few guys.
Raiden, do you copy?
It was the colonel. Raiden slid behind him, a gigantic cargo container to his right, and flattened his back against it.
You must continue your mission.
He sounds funny, Raiden thought. The transmission was somewhat garbled. I've lost all my gear. I need to locate Snake, he answered.
He was never factored into the simulation. Leave him out of this.
I can't do much naked, especially in this temperature.
That's true. You won't be able to do much.
I think Snake has my gear.
Raiden, take out Solidus and his men. You must secure Arsenal intact.
Colonel, are you under orders from the Patriots?
Your role, that is mission, is to infiltrate the structure and disarm the terrorists.
My role? Why do you keep saying that?
Why not? This is a type of role-playing game. The point is you play out your part, and I expect you to turn in a perfect performance.
Raiden thought the colonel sounded extremely strange. The quality of his nanostream voice was more electronic than usual. The garbling was just as bad, but Raiden figured it was because he was inside Arsenal gear. Still, the man was also behaving oddly. Colonel, I just remembered something.
What?
That I've never met you in person. Not once. The colonel's codec image flashed in Raiden's mind faltered, as if the signal was weak.
Complete your mission according to the simulation.
All right, that's enough, Raiden thought. Colonel, who are you?
No more questions. We have Rosemary.
What did he just say? What do you mean by that?
Over and out.
The transmission ended. It had to be one of the weirdest conversations he'd ever had with someone. He heard a guide walking toward the container. Raiden quickly tapped on the side of it and then ran to the opposite end and hid around the corner. The guide appeared at the back of the container, but by that time Raiden had skirted around to the opposite side. The colonel called again.
Raiden, turn off the simulator right now.
Huh? What did you say?
The mission is a failure.
The transmission quality was worse and the colonel sounded even more metallic.
Cut the power right now.
What's wrong with you?
Don't worry, it's a simulation. It's a game, just like usual.
Rose interrupted and said, You'll ruin your eyes playing so close to the TV. Raiden blinked in confusion. What are you talking about? The colonel returned.
Raiden, something happened to me last Thursday when I was driving home. I had a couple of miles to go. I looked up and saw a glowing orange object in the sky to the east. It was moving very regularly. Suddenly, there was an intense light all around me, and when I came to, I was home. What do you think happened to me?
Huh?
Fine, forget it.
The colonel actually sounded hurt. End of transmission. What the hell is going on? Raiden peered into the corridor. The first guide he'd seen was busy looking for whatever had knocked on the back of the container. Raiden ran down the corridor, one hand covering his privates. I'm sorry. The other ready to strike anything that appeared in front of him. The hallway split into two levels just ahead. The upper level continued parallel with the lower one. He didn't know whether to descend a few stairs and try the high road, or simply stay where he was. The Soliton radar told him there were 3 guides on the upper floor. Only one ahead on the lower. It was a no-brainer. The colonel burst through again.
You've been doing this a long time. Don't you have anything else to do with your time?
Why did he change the dialogue? Like, I mean, I guess it's not a video game anymore, so it doesn't make as much sense. I don't know. It's just a book. I don't know. You've been reading for a long time. I don't know. Whatever. End of transmission. Am I going crazy? What the hell did he just say? Another burst.
I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in flapjaw sauce with a tuning fork does a raw blink on harakiri wrap. I need scissors. 61. Every time I need to go get scissors, you just go, I need scissors. 61. Something was seriously wrong. It couldn't be the nanomachines, or could it? But if that was the case, why would the Colonel be acting so bizarrely, saying those loony things? I didn't move to another large container on the right, just past the staircase. The upper level had a gridded floor, so he could see through it. A guide was just above him, patrolling the floor. The guy hadn't noticed him, so Raiden simply waited him out. The operative stood flat against the container, and the man headed in the opposite direction. The Colonel is back. Actually, there is something that I have been meaning to tell you, but I just couldn't. I think you should know, though. On Saturday morning last week, I saw a guy leaving Rosemary's room. How should I put it? It was like they were so intimate. I'm sorry. Sorry to bring us up during the mission, but... Oh, come on. That bastard. That can't be true. Or could it? It's not true because, the Colonel is the one leaving. Anyway. The only thing Raiden knew to do was move on. He hurried forward, stopping at every container he came to so he could scan the space in front and behind him for sentries. The radar showed him that a new man was on his level, and he was heading his way. Raiden crouched and willed himself to be part of the container. What does that mean? The guide walked by and didn't detect him. Just I see. The guide didn't see him. Raiden made a run for it. The Colonel sent yet another transmission. I'm not home right now. Please leave a message after the beep. Beep. Shadow Moses. Shadow Moses. Metal Gear. Destroy Metal Gear. Ignore him. The operative kept to the side of the pathway, hoping he would blend into the wall. He was doing fine when the sentry behind him shouted, Hey! Raiden didn't turn to look. He simply ran. The guide fired his weapon and then took off in pursuit. Raiden ducked between two containers, ran around the backside, and waited until the man had moved in front of him. Raiden sneaked behind the sentry, grabbed him in a stranglehold, struggled with the guy for a minute, and finally rendered him unconscious. Infiltrate the enemy fortress. Outer heaven, the Colonel ordered. Raiden dragged the soldier between the curtains and left him there. The whole world's going crazy, he thought. I mean, it's always been crazy. Then the Colonel said cryptically, Kawanishi Nosaguchi Kinu Noebashi Takayama Uguisunomori Suzumigataki Tada Hirano Ichi no Tori Uneno Yamashita Sasabe Kofudai Tokiwadai Myokanguchi. Raiden didn't know what to make of that until he realized that the Colonel was naming Japanese train stations. How do you just know that? I mean, I just know that off the top of my head. Because, okay, what is going on with whatever? I know that off the top of my head because I'm an idiot and a big nerd. I don't know why anyone, it just doesn't make sense. Why, if I didn't just know that the names of random Japanese train stations. Anyway, the guy's nuts. He continued to move. The coast was clear to the end where he came to a hatch. The Soliton radar informed him he was entering the ascending colon. It too was a long hallway. Jack, it's me, Rose. Thank God. Hi. Jack, I owe you an apology. If it's about the conversation just now, I'm the one who's sorry. No, it's something else. What is it? She sounded very serious, the complete antithesis of her demeanor just a little while earlier. What, when she was crying, or when she was telling him to not sit so close to the TV? Anyway, that day at Federal Hall 2 years ago, it wasn't a coincidence.
She struggled for a brief moment. I was ordered to keep an eye on you. What? Aiden blinked. Keep an eye on me? Yes, by the Patriots. What else could possibly go wrong today? You're a spy. I suppose, yes. It's an ugly word. He was speechless. There's absolutely nothing he could say. I was gonna make a joke, but no. No, thank you. Are you still there? Was sleeping with me part of the job? Yes, sarcastically. I fell in love with you. How could anyone? I can't excuse what I did. I've reported every detail of your personal life to them these 2 years. What you did, said, everything. Must have been fun. But some things I didn't tell anyone. Like what I felt for you. He couldn't help being cruel. He wanted to hurt her. So that's why you were involved in this mission. I should have known. Why else would they toss an analyst into the mix at the last minute? I'm sorry, I know what I did was wrong. No matter where I go, I get used. I reinvented myself to suit your tastes. Hairstyle, clothes, the way I move, the way I talked about. You say you love the color of my eye, hair, my eyes, they're not even real. Like, when is your natural hair? Rosemary was actually originally gonna be blonde in Metal Gear Solid 2. So, like, it canon that, like, I've decided that she says she changed her hair color, which is not reflected in Metal Gear Solid 4. Like, so she had blonde hair, and then her natural color, she is like brown. Anyway, you must have gone over my psych profile with a fine-tooth comb. It was my job. Great performance, had me completely fooled. What I really wanted was for you to see the real me, and her to play out this artificial romance. It was worse to lie to myself than to you. The more love you gave me, the more it hurt, because I knew the person you loved was just a character. So it was artificial on my end, too. It was just a game, not the real thing. Oh, Jack, I feel better knowing that. What? His bitterness was overt. I was in love, or I thought I was, with someone who didn't exist. I was trying to be someone I wasn't by loving what wasn't real. So I don't know who you really are. The person I knew isn't real. She's not the woman I'm talking to right now. In a sense, the deception was my own, not theirs. Jack, I thought I was acting because that was my job. But I did fall in love with you. That wasn't an act. You expect me to believe that? This time Rose couldn't answer. It's okay, he said. You had your reasons, right? Hey, I understand. But I have nothing left to... Jack! The transmission suddenly garbled as it had done with the colonel's. What? I'm carrying... Her voice slowed as if it was really recorded and the speed had been adjusted. Rose, what's going on? I'm pregnant, Jack. Your baby. Rose! The transmission ended. If you like that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!